Well, good morning. I want to welcome you all to Student of the Month, our Student of the Month program. Please continue to eat throughout the presentation this morning, but you may want to, if you're facing that away and not see me right now, please feel free when you're done eating to just turn around your seat so that you don't have to creak your neck the whole, or don't walk out with a creak in your neck. Well, I'm Alan Williams. I'm the principal at Temecula Valley High School, and Sally Myers, the founder of the Student of the Month program, which has been in existence now for 26 years, can't be with us this morning, so I'm kind of pinch hitting this morning, and it's really a pleasure and honor to lead us out this morning. What we do at Student of the Month is we'll first be calling up Cameron Stevens to lead us in a prayer this morning. So if you could please join with us.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Would you pray with me? Father, we come before you this morning, and we are so grateful and thankful for the beautiful day that you've provided for us, not only outside in the weather, but in here now, Lord, as we gather together as a community to rally around these students, Lord, that have accomplished so much in their time in high school. So, Lord, I pray that you would honor them this morning, be with them, Lord, as they present and share with us their story and how you've worked in and through their lives. So, Father, I pray that you would also bless them as they plan and prepare for the future in all their endeavors, Lord, where they go after high school. We thank you for the parents, the teachers, the administrators, and the community members here, Lord, that have encouraged and come alongside of these students as well to build them up and send them out. So, Lord, we thank you for this morning. Be with us now. In your name we pray. Amen.
And thank you. And at this time, I'd like to call up Debbie Herrera from Senator Jeff Stone's office to lead us in the pledge. So if you please stand.
Good morning. If you could please join me in pledge allegiance to this beautiful flag of our nation. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Well, I've been at Student of the Month now for 4.5 years, and I had no idea what Student of the Month was in the Valley until we moved up here and I first started it. This is no regular Student of the Month program. What you're going to learn here in a few moments is the number of people and the number of companies and organizations within our community that have contributed to make this a really successful students program to really honor students and their families in our community. And you've got a real special treat coming forward to you this morning, and you'll walk out of here remembering some of the stories that you heard here. And I guarantee you, if you listen carefully, you will be inspired by the youth in our country. If there's any shadow of a doubt in your mind that we're not going to move forward in a great way in the United States of America, your mind will be changed here today by what you hear from our nation's youth. These are some of the finest students that we have in our community, and I'm so looking forward to hearing from them. I wanted to read to you the mission statement of the Student of the Month. The Student of the Month program is a local high school recognition program supported by the community to acknowledge and honor college, vocational, trade school-bound senior students for their character, their love of learning, commitment to academics, participation in athletics, school activities, community service, or the ability to persevere and overcome difficult life circumstances in a setting that honors God, country, family, community, and free enterprise. That's a lot, but I know it's long because it's meaningful and significant to Sally Myers and what the Student of the Month program is all about. So even though it's a mouthful, there's a lot of meaning packed in there. And just know, students, as you hear that mission statement, we believe in you and what you're doing, and you are fulfilling that statement by how you've been these last 17, 18 years. What I'd like to do right now is I'd like to bring up Tammy Maryann. Tammy, would you come on up? And Tammy is the board of directors for Habitat for Humanity in the Inland Valley. Please, come on up. Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you so much. I'm here as a board member of the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce, and I just want to say on behalf of the board and all of the Chamber of Commerce, just congratulations, and I commend all the students for all your hard work and everything you're doing. We watch you from afar, and we're so very proud of your efforts and know that you'll be the future leaders of Temecula Valley and other areas around the country, and we're just so very proud of you. And I want to read just simply the words that are on the certificate you're going to receive from us today. It says, "In recognition of your continuous commitment to academic and personal excellence, the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce proudly salutes you. Thank you so much. We're proud of each and every one of you, and it's an honor to be here with you today. I can't wait to hear your stories."
Thank you. Thank you, Tammy. What we'd like to do at this time is give you a preliminary introduction of all our students and the representatives from the schools and the parents that are here. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask the school to stand. So we'll have the administrator, the teacher, importantly, the student, and the family. So everyone in your group will have you stand, and we'd like to see you all and give you a big round of applause. So first up is Chaparral High School, and we have Assistant Principal Dave Reisinger, and if he could stand alongside Dana, right? Okay, Dana, Tomale, and her parents and teacher. If we could give them a round of applause. Welcome. From Great Oak High School, if we could have Kyle Ickbon stand up with his parents, and principal of Great Oak High School, Amy Ricken is here, and the teacher as well. If we can give them a round of applause, please. Thank you. And then Temecula Valley High School, of course, I'm representing Temecula Valley High School, but if we could have Annie Hilton, her mother, and Eric Burlingham, if we give them a round of applause. And this morning from Rancho Christian High School, we have Principal Craig Swanson and Jacob Davies' family and teacher and extended family here this morning. If we could give them a round of applause. And just to mention, Jacob and his organization has sponsored Student of the Month now for several years, and so it's really a neat thing to have a contributor have a Student of the Month at the program this morning, so a special welcome to you. And then also this morning we have Temecula Prep High School and the head of school, Michael Agostini, and then Student of the Month, Nick Wright and his family and supporting teacher. Well, we're all here. So, oh my, yes. We're not all, we're right in front of me. This is the first error of the morning, Holly, and it was with you. Golly. And so, from Linfield Christian High School, then we have Holly Wilson, which is right here with Charles Russell, his theater teacher and mother, and give them the biggest round of applause. Sally, I'm sorry. This is all being recorded, thank goodness. And just to say, you don't need to pull out your phones this morning unless you really, really want to. This is going to be aired on one of the local broadcasting companies for Temecula. So, also, we want to acknowledge our Student of the Month sponsors. So I'll tell you, when you come around here, like I have for the last 4 years, but forget to mention the school, when you come around to the Temecula Student of the Month program, you start to see the same people again and again, and it really, it's overused, I suppose, but you really start to feel like you're part of a family here at Student of the Month, and I know what I'm saying and feeling is also true of others that support the program. So, of course, Sally can't be here today. She's up in Sacramento. She's up opening a new Sizzler. What a beautiful Sizzler this is, isn't it? It's fantastic. Hopefully you enjoyed the breakfast this morning. But I want to recognize a few people that are here with us. We have Brooke Nunn, the program chair, Brooke. You're right over here. There's Brooke. And we also have Marcia McDonald, the event supporter. She's right over there. Is she going to say hi? Thank you. So Marcia worked at Temecula Valley High School for many, many years, but she still works there as we call her substitute, but really she's just a utility person for everything. And they call Marcia Stewart, as in Martha Stewart, because everything's just perfect that she does, and it really, really is, especially this morning too. So thank you so much for being here. And then we also have Dan Stake that's with us this morning, and he's our event supporter as well. Thanks, Dan. He was here very early stuffing those duffel bags that I'll tell you about. And there's some other folks that couldn't make it this morning, but also there's about 7-8 volunteers that help us out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to really thank publicly all the people who have really contributed as far as resources for the event. And so I'd like to go through and introduce the companies, and if they're here this morning, to also share with you the people that are here. What I'd like to do is just have people stand, and for the pace of our program this morning, because we want to get to those stories, we're going to have them stand, and we'll give them one round of applause at the end, okay? So first of all, we have Derek Gonzalez here with us from Altura Credit Union. Derek, if you could stand up. And then we have Azusa Pacific University, that's also a breakfast sponsor, Bechet Enterprises. And then from Cal State San Marcos University, we have Amanda Werkheiser, who's with us this morning. So if you could stand up, Amanda. And then, of course, I already mentioned Davies Financial Advisors. So if Mr. Davey, if you could stand up. DCH Auto Group Temecula is a sponsor for our breakfast. Eastern Municipal Water District is also a sponsor. Gosh Ford Temecula, just saw it on the way in this morning, a sponsor. Loma Linda University Medical Center is a sponsor in Murrieta. And then the Medline Foundation is also a breakfast sponsor. And continuing, Mount San Jacinto, we have Mary Lou Dillard that's here, and Morris Myers, if you could stand, please. Motion Sports, and Dr. David Horner is with us this morning. David. Pacific Western Bank, Paradise Chevrolet Cadillac. We have Grace Cardenas from Rancho California Water District, and Riverside County Board of Supervisors 3rd District is a breakfast sponsor. Riverside County Superintendent of Schools. Rotary Club of Temecula, we have Roxanne here with this morning. Roxanne, if you could stand. Sizzler Restaurant, of course, is a sponsor. Temecula Valley Toyota. Walmart Temecula, Western Municipal Water District, Workloggy HR. And so if we could give all those people, sorry, that was a long stand, a round of applause. And we have our media sponsors sponsor this morning, and this will all be aired on Time Warner Cable TV. And so our media sponsor, a few other media sponsors here is CRNR Environmental Services, The Point Wealth Management, Group 1 Production. We do have Stephen from Group 1 Production. Stephen, where are you? Okay. Oh, that's Stephen. Thanks, Stephen. And I have done this at least once before. City of Temecula, we have Maryann Edwards. I just saw you walk in. Thank you, Maryann. And then Laura Boss is over there taking notes on our morning right now, and you'll see the write-up and the picture in our local paper. So we're really pleased to have you with us this morning, Laura. So we also have, at the Student of the Month, we have our scholarship sponsors. So we don't have the exact dollar amount, but typically it's over $1,000 for our scholarship that we have. So we have students at the end in a Student of the Year competition. We have one selection from each one of our schools, and then from there, there's a decision, or we have candidates from all of our schools. They apply, and then one student is selected from each of the high schools in our community, and they're the winners of the Student of the Year scholarship award, which is typically over $1,000. So we always hope for more. It just depends on the giving that comes in, but it's a really nice extra that students get as they go off to college or to a vocational school. So the sponsors for the Student of the Year, We have Abbott that sponsors that, our local Abbott corporation. Alta Pacific Bank, we have Dan Stake again with us, that's a sponsor. Bechet Enterprises, Corner Bakery, that is. Commerce Bank of Temecula Valley, Eastern Municipal Water District, First Citizens Bank, Leslie A. Doherty, CPA, APC, Les Schwab Temecula, Milgard Windows and Doors, the Medline Foundation, and then we have again Mary Lou Dillard from Mount San Jacinto Community College, Pacific Western Bank, Paradise Chevrolet Cadillac, PKC Kubler, and with us we have Pete Palmer is here, and Isabel Newgart. We haven't recognized you yet. Where are you? Okay, if we can give them a round of applause, please. We have Grace Cardenas from Rancho California Water District. Where are you, Grace? Oh, there she is. We can give her a round of applause. And then we also have for Student of the Year scholarship sponsors Rancho Family Medical Group, Riverside County Board of Supervisors, 3rd District, and then we have Temecula Education Foundation, and we have Mark Catan and Morris Myers here. Where are you? All right, thank you so much. And thank you for being here this morning. And finally, Student of the Year scholarship sponsor is Temecula Valley Toyota. So, that's a lot of people supporting the program, isn't it? And I just want to tell you about, there's a gift bag up here. And this is filled with lots of goodies for our students. And the sponsors for the gift bag that you'll all walk away with today, so you can start using all the things that are in here and have some fun. We have Bechet Enterprises that have sponsored. And then we have Tara from Chick-fil-A. Tara, where are you at? Yeah, if you get back in the back there from Chick-fil-A, the happiest person that's here is Tara. From beginning to end, every time, hands down. So thank you for joining us this morning. Costco Temecula, CRNR Environmental Services, the Linfield Christian School again, and the Linfield Christian School again, and I'll just say that over and over, but we can't rewind and go back. Loma Linda University, Nash Dental Care, Promenade Temecula, and Tulips, Trophies, and Treasures. What a creative name. So thank you to our gift sponsors. You're going to find valuable goodies in there. All right. I get my first opportunity to turn over the mic here. And we have our dignitaries with us. So not only do we have the companies in town, the businessmen and women in town contributing to the program, and local organizations contributing to the program, we also have people statewide who are representatives here in the state of California and also at the United States level that are here, and they have representatives here to present you with certificates. So you get all these awards and honors today, and I'm going to have these folks start lining up right over here, and I'll tell you who's involved. So from the city of Temecula, Maryann Edwards, Senator Jeff Stone's office, Debbie Herrera, and then we have a representative here from Assemblywoman Melissa Melendez, Assemblywoman Marie Waldron, a representative, Board of Supervisors Chuck Washington, 3rd District, and Riverside County Superintendent of Schools, U.S. Congressman Duncan Hunter, and U.S. Congressman Ken Calvert, and then also one of my bosses that I'm pleased to introduce this morning, who's getting in the lineup over there, Mr. Tim Ritter, Superintendent of TVUSD. So I'm going to have you come up one by one, and Maryann, you're on.
I thought I was the happiest person here. Well, I think everybody's happy. It's Student of the Month, and there's definitely a reason to celebrate. So I'm Maryann Edwards, and I'm the mayor of Temecula. This is my 3rd time around as mayor of Temecula. It's such an honor, and 3rd time around, I'll try and get it right this time. Since I only have one meeting left in this term, we have one meeting in December, and then we're ready to hand the baton over to the next person who will be mayor. We only serve 1 year at a time because it is all-consuming. I mean, we get to do so many things, and it's such a privilege I love Student of the Month. My children hated Student of the Month. I would come home and brag about all the students. You know what they did? You know what the grade point averages are? Do you know the clubs they belong to and all the things they've done? And our children are wonderful, but I am prejudiced because I have 3 bears, golden bears. They're all grown now. So I can tell you, parents, you have a lot to look forward to as good as it's been up to this point. It gets even better when you see your children succeed and go off to college or get a job and start a career. And I kind of want to go to where my kids all work and hang out and just watch them and brag about them. Yeah, you can't do that. So just take advantage of every minute that you have with your seniors, because this year is winding down very, very quickly, and they've got an adventure ahead. Students, we just want to tell you how proud we are of you. We know the amount of work that it takes to get here. And parents, we're proud of you too, because it definitely takes all that support at home for all the things that these kids do. And as full as their schedules are, we're always amazed at all the classes, AP classes, and the clubs and nonprofits that they work for. It's amazing, and we know that it's definitely a family affair. And teachers and administrators, we have the best school district anywhere. There is not a bad school in Temecula. You can win anywhere you go, from the private, Christian schools, private schools, to every high school we have, every elementary, every middle school. Temecula is a winner, and we know people move here. They do their homework now, and they move here because of our schools. So we have great students, and you have risen to the top. You've been recognized at your school site by the teachers and nominated for something you've done. Might not be your GPA, might not be the fact that you're the football star or, that you're president of ASB, but you have risen to the top because you've made a difference at your school site. And we are counting on you to go out and make a difference in the world. We know some of you have big plans, and maybe some of you don't have any idea of what you want to do. And that's okay too. I always say I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up, but as long as people are involved, I'll be great. So congratulations on behalf of the city of Temecula. You have this lovely certificate, and we spared no expense on the framing right here. But it's something that you can keep and show your kids and say, hey, this is what I did, you can do this too. So I would say keep charging, be positive, surround yourself by people who are going to support you and hold you up, and have a wonderful, wonderful life. And then come back and share your talent with the community that helped to get you there. So on behalf of the city of Temecula, congratulations.
Real beautiful. Hello, everybody. Good morning. I'm Debbie Herrera here on behalf of Senator Jeff Stone and his staff. And along with the city giving out certificates, the state has a certificate for every student here too. And congratulations on being December Student of the Month. This is my absolute favorite way to start my day. I could do this every single day. The support that you have from your parents, your teacher, and your principal, you'll never see that anywhere else. And I just love this event. So, Alan, you're doing a great, yes, you're doing a wonderful job, emceeing today. I'm very proud of you. You're doing great. And he's going to be talking to the students today about the thank you letters that they're going to be sending, handwriting, to over 3,000 sponsors today. So, what I wanted to share with you, you think I'm joking, right? Sort of. But anyway, at our office, the senator loves when we get thank you cards. We get them every single day in the mail from the students. And I want to share with you what we received in one day. They also are going to announce to you that you're going to be able to apply for a scholarship from the chamber. And you're only competing with 7 other students from your school for a scholarship. So your odds are 1 in 8 to get a scholarship. One of the things on the scholarship, I've been a judge each year, is they ask if you did a thank you note. And I pay attention to them, and I mark it down when we get it from the students. So I want to share with you what we received in one day. This was one of the thank yous we got. It's, well written with their name, right? And this, in the same day, is a thank you that we got. Do you see which one stands out more, students? So we look forward to receiving your thank you cards in our office, and we'll mark them down. And it is part of your application for your scholarship, so it's very important. When he talks about it today, listen to what he says. And congratulations. It's a name, well, no, Maryann, it's a name with a smiley face. See the smiley face?
I probably have that one, I just haven't opened it.
Yeah, and then this one it's got a Bible verse in it. It's thanking us for their support. So just something to think about when he talks about the thank you cards. Congratulations.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Samantha. I'm from Assemblywoman Melissa Melendez's office, and I'm sure it comes to no surprise that I also have a certificate for you guys. So you guys are going to get lots of certificates, which is, you guys deserve it. Frame them, hang them up, proudly display them to everybody who walks into your home. Make sure you go, look at all my certificates. But I want to congratulate all of you. It's hard work. And obviously there's not very many students that get to be Student of the Month and get to have this breakfast and be recognized out of the hundreds of students that are in your class. So congratulations, keep going and make sure you continue through college and the workforce with the same spirit and determination and drive, because you'll go very, very far in life. So congratulations.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Robin Rhodes, and I'm here on behalf of Supervisor Chuck Washington's office. I want to congratulate all the students on your commitment to excellence, and you've made it already halfway through your senior year. I just want to encourage you to keep that momentum up, and there was wonderful things waiting for you in your future, so thank you. And here's the certificate.
Good morning. I'm Tim Ritter, and I'm honored to serve our community as the Superintendent of Temecula Valley Unified School District. And when I have this opportunity each month, and this is the 17th year that I've been able to be a part of Student of the Month and Sally Meyer's vision, and it is amazing what she has established. And we have to recognize that accomplishments like this don't happen in a vacuum. It involves a great number of people, and part of what I want to do every month is make sure that I clearly express my gratitude and thankfulness to a community of supporters, a community that holds education at a high level, of high expectation. I believe that I'm blessed to be a part of this community as an educator, because you have made certain that education remains at the forefront of values and significance within this community. The students, the 6 students that are being recognized today, one of the things that I hope you recognize is that this is a big deal. I came from a community where Student of the Month was no more than a bumper sticker. And in this community, I was shocked and in awe the first time that I participated in Student of the Month, and I recognized that it was significant. It was something of importance. It not only recognizes the student's achievement, but it states loud and clear that we have a community of believers and supporters. Today in this room, you have elected officials, you have business owners, you have community partners, you have people that are volunteering their time. Your teachers are here, your administrators are here, your parents are here, and they've taken time off work if they can. This is a big deal, and this big deal is about you. It's about celebrating who you are and what you bring to your school community. And the one thing that I hope that each of you, when you come up here and you stand at this podium this morning, you're able to kind of put away the nerves, put those aside, and thankfully you go early in the transition. So once you're done, do me a favor and just please listen closely to what is being said about you and who you are. It's easy to fall back on, I'm a scholar. I have a 4.4 GPA. Or I'm a gifted athlete, a talented artist, I'm a leader on campus. And all of those are things that are worthy and deserving of recognition. And I'm certain they're part of who you are. Many of them are part of who you are, and they're part of why you're being recognized. And I don't want to minimize it, but I want you to hear the fact that the reason you're standing up here today is not just about those kind of accomplishments. And again, not minimizing them, those are significant. But you're up here today because you have stood out in your school community. When teachers and administrators were asked, who are the difference makers? Who are the people that are influencing the culture and the climate on our campus in such a significant way that it's noticeable? Yours is the name that came forward. You are the one that people recognize because you're lifting up people around you. You are a supporter. You care. You demonstrate empathy. All of those are the things that sometimes get masked by these very easy things to capture, like GPA, but those are what make you stand out. That is why you're here today, and I'm absolutely confident before a single person comes up here and talks about a student, that is what we are going to hear about. What it is that makes you stand out in a community of other excellent students. We're blessed in this community with great students. There are other great minds that aren't here today being recognized. Athletes, artists, leaders. You're here for a specific reason. And it's more about those intrinsic qualities that make you who you are and how you use those talents to bring up other people. That's what's important. That's why you're here. And please hear that message. It's important that you continue to foster those qualities and bring them forward wherever you go as you move on to the next level in your life. Take those qualities, foster them, and let them shine. Congratulations.
Well, thank you to our representatives and to our local leaders, to you, Mr. Ritter, and also to you, Maryann Edwards. I happen to go to a few events in Temecula, just in my role as a principal, and the amount of events they go to and the energy they bring them, and to be the voice of our community and really calling us to a higher and next level, they consistently do that. So thank you. And the representatives representing our local officials and statewide officials as well. Well, so we're getting closer. And we have done the Temecula gift sponsors now. I think I skipped someone else. I've got it. I'm not going to tell you about it. So just a few other people we want to recognize as gift sponsors. We have Altura Credit Union, Bechet Enterprises, Chick-fil-A, again with Tara here, Clear Blue Promotions, Eastern Municipal Water District, Jersey Mike Subs, Lake Elsinore Storm Baseball, Richie's Real American Diner, which is actually Sally's folks who run that restaurant, Promenade, again, Stat, Animal Sanctuary, Sizzler, Temecula Olive Oil Company, Temecula Valley Hospital, Western Municipal Water District, Which Superior Sandwiches. So all of those people have contributed as well. Those are the items that are in the gift bag that you have. So you've got a lot of goodies in there and a lot of ways to spend. So students, that's a perk of doing an outstanding job. Well, now we're moving on to the main event, which is the presentation of students. And just before, and thanks for the reminder, I don't have them in. Oh, they're in. Okay, great. So these are the thank you cards, and it is true, you will be writing thank you notes to all of the people who have sponsored the program and given you items to spend and enjoy. So make sure that you go and you got a great model this morning about what to do. Yes, they need to express your thankfulness, so make sure you do your diligence and do that. And I'm just going to say this because Mrs. Myers does, is that make sure that you're not texting the words, but you're actually writing out complete sentences with no truncated words, okay? No OMGs or all that other stuff, okay? So make sure you do that and make sure you're thorough in that. It's really appreciative when people receive that thank you note, students. So I know many of you have done this before, but there is a lot of them. There's not 3,000, I know that. But there is 100 or so. So you're going to do some writing. So make sure you do that.
I saved every one of them.
This is actually the list here. So there is a lot of people to write to. All right, well, we're going to get started, and I just want to remind everyone I know all our administrators have done this before, but this is how it goes, and you've been given a sheet. But just a final reminder, so your time limit for each of the groups coming up is about 5 minutes. There's a time of sharing examples of character and how each student makes a difference. The principal or assistant principals or representatives from the schools will speak for 1 minute. Students, you have 2.5 minutes, and you'll be introducing your family guest, you'll introduce your teacher, and you'll share your college and career goals and share about current school life. And then some of you have a story that you're going to add to that. It might be a different piece, so we're really anxious and excited to hear that. And students, you have to answer at least one of the questions. What do you believe is your greatest contribution to your community, school, and family? What do you think is the most significant life lesson that you will take with you to college? How do you plan on giving back to our community or paying it forward? Or share a personal story that demonstrates an obstacle you have overcome. The teacher will then speak for a minute, and then finally each group will close with a minute by a parent or a family representative. So up here, it's important that you stand tight to the podium because we're all on TV and they just want to keep it in. So you'll notice sometimes if you've been doing this a while here that people will drift out of the picture. Just kind of keep it close here. And it's the teacher and the principal on this side, and then the student, and then the family on this side. Okay? All right, and we'll all be okay, so don't worry about that either. Well, it looks like the order this morning, I hope, okay, Paul, you're oh. Yes, and we will be starting off with Great Oak High School, and I'd like to introduce Mrs. Ricken. Come on up with your student and family.
It's very important that you squish in. Alan, I think you're doing a great job. High fives. So my name is Amy Ricken, and on behalf of Great Oak High School, we're here this morning to celebrate Kyle. I've known Kyle a little bit. I had the pleasure of teaching his older brother, Craig, who's at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. So no concerns about where this guy's going to get into school and the successful path that he has. But this morning, I had the opportunity to sit with Kyle last week and have a little conversation, but I changed what I was going to speak about this morning because of an incredible opportunity that I had to participate in and observe on Monday morning. Kyle is a member of a brand new kind of group in Temecula. They're called the Youth Innovators. And this year they put together an amazing program. I wish I could highlight and show a video of the morning's events. So his group put on a Young Women's Career Conference, and I'm the first female principal at Great Oak High School, so I'm sitting in the room feeling like an underachiever when I'm looking at Mayor Maryann Edwards and our female chief of police for Temecula, Disney writers, we had plastic surgeons. It was literally a who's who of women in our community who were there that morning serving as mentors, sharing their stories. I think just encouraging our young female students at 3 high schools in the city. And I told Kyle I was going to do this, but so Kyle's a servant leader. I mean, we have over 820 seniors, so 1 out of 820, that's the odds that Kyle is standing up here this morning under. But his group, and Kyle specifically, there's no job too big or too small for Kyle. He'll pick up a piece of trash, put it in the trash can. He'll run over and serve anyone at any time. He's a young man who has an incredible amount of integrity. And as I was sitting in the room at City Hall on Monday morning, I'm looking at Kyle's group, and they're kind of, unassumingly running around making things happen at this conference. And in the back of the room, Kyle was standing in the middle of the presentation, and we had, women sharing their stories for other young women. Our female students were asking questions of the panel, and it was a pretty powerful comment that was made. And I looked across the room, and in the back of the room, I saw Kyle, and we had this kind of moment, not in an awkward way. Didn't come out right. So I looked across and I looked at Kyle, and he just kind of looked at me and goes, yeah, like he totally gets it. And here's a young man who never stands on the back of somebody else to lift up, you know, his own situation and to highlight his success, but instead was there to lift up everyone that was in the room. And, you know, I'm incredibly proud of him. He's a tremendous ambassador of Great Oak High School, a tremendous ambassador of the city of Temecula, and I know he's going to go and do amazing things, and we can't wait to hear your story. So congratulations, Kyle.
Hey guys, what's up? I first of all, this to my left are my parents, Marilyn McMahon and William McMahon, and to my right is my teacher who nominated me, Mr. Steve Maxey. And this whole experience has been surreal and very humbling. I mean, I've never considered myself to be the one to stand out. I don't think I've ever been recognized for an award at such personal magnitude. And I just want to say thank you for the nomination, Ms. Ricken, and to this amazing program, and just for this, it's such a privilege. But to my parents, to you guys, thank you for your current support and for everything you've done growing up, and for everything you've done is beyond repayable. And for that, I want to say thank you, and I love you guys. But I still find it weird to like refer to myself with this title, you know, Student of the Month. You know, I'm just that one kid in class who likes to smile a lot. But as for the future, I would love to get accepted to UCLA or UC Berkeley to study in the field of mathematics. I've had the privilege of being in Mr. Maxey's class for 2 years now, and 3 of his classes, sophomore year accelerated P-Calc, and this year Calculus D and International Baccalaureate higher level mathematics. I'm one of 9 dual enrolled in these 2 classes. But being in Mr. Maxey's classes has taught me the values of being a mathematician. Math is more than just a skill. Or more than just a subject, it's a skill. Mathematicians are problem solvers, and that's what this world needs. That's how I view Mr. Maxey, that's how I view other accomplished mathematics and scientists, and that's how I view myself in the future. But nonetheless, I apply math more at the personal scale. Like I said, if there's one thing I know how to do, it's just to smile. I mean, I'm pretty much an expert at it. I've always said that a smile and a hug can go a long way for someone's day. And I've always had the thought process that if one of my friends is having a bad day, I'd rather just take all their troubles and worries that they're experiencing that day and just put them on myself. I was brought up in a Catholic faith, and one of the messages that stood out to me personally is that to be selfless and to put others before yourself. And I would rather see others be happy at the expense of my own happiness. Because I know how hard these hardships can be. I mean, we've all been through it, you know. And of course, I'm referring to one of the most prevalent problems is depression. And you know, it's easier said than done, being happy. But that's why I'm a math tutor. That's why I'm involved with service with CSF, NHS, and Youth Innovators. And that's why I do the dishes my mom tells me to. I always think that you can do small things in order to achieve a bigger purpose. And that's the problem I want to solve. I mean, I may not know how to solve it, you know. Depression is kind of a big thing, but I could just start with the person next to you. Start with the people who you're closest to and work your way up. And one final thing that I want to share with you guys is my own personal quote. I made it in the 9th grade, and it's inspired me to keep going in high school when everything around me seems to spontaneously combust. But before I do that, I just want to share at least one thing that I've learned throughout my years in high school is that happiness is hard to achieve, it's difficult to achieve, but it's even more difficult to achieve alone. And that's why positive surroundings are crucial to success. Positivity is more than just giving a smile. It's turning on your light when everyone turns theirs off. And that's why I challenge you, my call to action is to all you today, is to wear those smiles more often. You look better with them anyways. And this is my quote. In this world, we are surrounded by depression and negativity. But instead, I prefer to just smile like an idiot. Smile and be happy. Thank you.
I absolutely hate going after the students because I think they do such an incredible job. My name is Steve Maxey, and I'm a math teacher at Great Oak. Like you mentioned, I had him as sophomore, and was lucky enough to have him sophomore, and then twice as a senior when he decided to totally geek out and take 2 high-level math courses. So I just want to share you 2 real quick stories about Kyle. First was my very first impressions of Kyle, which was before I even met him. My wife is a middle school teacher, and I get a lot of her kids. It's a pathway to the high school. And so she always likes to peek at my roster at the start of the year, and she's going through my list. This is 2 years ago, Kyle's sophomore year, and she sees Kyle's name on the list, and she just goes, "Aw, I just love Kyle." And so I don't know if I ever told you that story, but I just want to tell him that story. Anyway, coming up with something to talk about Kyle today was actually, for me, difficult. Not because Kyle has plenty of things to talk about, because phenomenal student, but I wanted to get away, like Mr. Ritter was saying, from the typical, he has good grades, he involved with lots of service at the school. I wanted to kind of get away from that and do something a little different. So I basically reached out to a lot of the other teachers at the school and asked them, can you give me something about Kyle, something I can talk about? And they basically came back with, "Oh, I love Kyle." And so I guess I'm supposed to get up here and say, "Oh, I love Kyle." But I mean, that being said, I do want to go at it from a little bit of different angle, because I just can't come up and say that. So I'm actually going to share with you a little story, and like Kyle was saying, this was a great lead-in. My problem was I really didn't know what to talk about with Kyle. So in math class, I talk about, okay, if we get a problem, we don't know how to solve it, let's step back for a moment and let's address it from a different angle. So instead of looking at it from the lens of, "Oh, we love Kyle," I'm going to look at it from the lens of the mischievous Kyle. So I'm gonna throw a story out there that is very endearing to me. It's not really mischievous, but it's a funny story to me. When he comes in sophomore year, I let the kids basically choose their seats at first. And so the kids sit down, and if there's an issue, of course, I move them. But if it works well, I let them stay where they're at. So Kyle comes in and sits down, and he comes in with 3 of his other buddies, and they all sit down at the same table group together. And I also pride myself on learning everyone's names at the very beginning of the school year. So within the very first 2 days of school, I pretty much know all 200 of my students after those 2 days. So Kyle takes it upon himself, as well as his other 3 cohorts, to decide to kind of play a game with me and mess with me a little bit. And what they decide to do is every single day in their little group of 4, they rotate a desk because they think the association of the seat versus the name is going to get lost. And eventually I'm going to goof up and call them by the wrong name. Did it work? No. The whole entire year I knew everybody's names, and it was perfect, absolutely perfect all year long. It never worked. And then the next year came. And I saw Kyle on the very first day of school, and I walked up to Kyle and I said, "So, Wilfred, how was your summer?" and he kind of looked at me and got this little grin on his face, and I was like, you got me. It was like, you won. Now, I tell that story not because Kyle's really mischievous, because he's not, but because, like he was mentioning earlier, he always reaches out to other people and makes them feel better. It's really, yes, he's a phenomenal student, but it's the relationships that he builds with everyone across the board that really makes him an endearing and powerful student. So when we chose Student of the Month this month, it was easy because everybody could sit back and say, "Aw, we love you, Kyle."
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much. First and foremost, thank you, God. Thank you, Mr. Maxey and Principal Ricken. Kyle, we often tell him every day we're very proud of him, and he's worked very hard for this to be here. He sacrificed his summer this past summer by taking online classes, so pretty much going on vacation was out of the question because he had to study. And so it's just very honored. We're very honored and proud of him that he's being recognized for all his hard work and what he's achieved. So obviously you can tell public speaking is not my forte, but we're very proud of you and we love you very much, and we're always going to be here for you, honey.
Good morning. This is going to be pretty hard. Actually, it's really having fun. Thank you for just to let Kyle know that all the achievement that he did, we're very proud of him. And that wouldn't be possible for the community that we have here. We're truly blessed to be part of this. And like Mayor Edwards said, and Mr. Ritter, that's pretty much seals it all right there. And thank you very much for your support and for everything that has happened. And I told him that it doesn't stop here. You know, like I'm a lead aircraft mechanic and my wife is a financial analyst. And I said, he's taking up the higher level. And to me, that's so important. And pretty much it. Thank you.
All right, and now we'd like to bring up Linfield Christian School and Principal Holly Wilson.
I usually MC for Sally when she's out, but I don't have much of a voice, so Alan, you can make all the mistakes you want. You're doing a great job. Thank you. Sponsors, dignitaries, thank you so much for this program. As you heard Debbie say, it's her favorite way to start the morning, and I know that for us as administrators and teachers, it's such an opportunity for our incredible students to be recognized. So thank you so much for sharing your time, your talents, and your resources with us. Kyle, I'm a mathematician, and you know what I do as a principal all day long? Solve problems. Served me well. So you're right, go math. Calc D. All right, sorry, I have to geek out a little bit with him. Charlie Russell is December's Student of the Month. And before Mr. Ritter speaks, I look at my student and I say, listen to him. Because what I find is our students know us, they know we love them unconditionally. But to hear a stranger and the superintendent of the school district to say to you words of value, I think they're very important. So Mr. Ritter, thank you for those words to our students. They hear you more than they hear us, so thanks. Charlie Russell, when I think of him, he is beloved. He's probably one of the most beloved people on our campus. And the reason for it is he is kind, considerate, compassionate, caring of everyone. He always has a smile on his face. And when I think about him, a couple words come into mind, and the first is thoughtful. And in the true sense and essence of the word, he's always full of thought. He's always thinking. When he sees somebody, he's thinking about them and how to meet their needs and what can he do for them. He is deep in thought about things. You can say something to Charlie and it doesn't go over his head. He mulls it over. He considers things. He is a true Renaissance man. He has an incredible logical mind. He writes well. He has been one of the lead stars in every production since 8th grade. Delight to see on stage. One of the students that I'll get his autograph before he leaves our campus. But he also has a true love and passion for the Word of God. Sometimes in class or different places, I'll see Charlie. You know what I'm going to say, huh?
I know what you're going to say.
And he'll have his Bible out, and he'll be reading it. I'm like, you're just faking it. You're not reading that. And he just looks at me, and he knows I'm messing with him. But he's just delightful, philosophical. Charlie, you are going to leave a huge hole on our campus when you graduate. So we love you. We thank you for making our school a better place every day. Congratulations.
Hello, everybody. I'm Charlie, as you may have heard. Obviously, first and foremost, I'm very, very deeply thankful for this nomination. Off the top of my head, I could probably think of at least 20 other people I know and love who could just have easily received this, so I'm deeply grateful for that. I have some great people up here with me. You already met her, Miss Wilson. She's the principal of our school. You have Mrs. Jenny Sheldrake. She's my theater teacher. I've known her about 5 years now, and she's taught me 3 or 4, so long time. And then Mrs. Elizabeth Russell. I call her Mom, but I was told I wasn't allowed to do that today. So, future plan, I plan on attending Concordia University to study theology and get involved in ministry somehow. Not exactly sure where to go with that yet. I might be a pastor, maybe a Bible teacher, missionary, something like that. Right now, at school, I'm definitely not as smart as Kyle. Did you say Calculus D? Yeah. I didn't even know Calculus D existed, so I took a slightly different approach to schooling. For one, I'm involved at the Associated Student Body at Linfield. We organize events like games and dances and parties that everyone gets involved in. Basically, if it involves school spirit, we're doing it. And also, as she mentioned, I am involved in the theater department at Linfield. Whether it's being in a show, being on an improv team, building sets, or even directing younger students, anything in theater that I can get my hands on, I pretty much go for it. However, if I'm being totally honest, I didn't always have that go for it attitude. I've been in Linfield my whole life with the exception of 1 year. A long time ago, I was having some personal issues, and as a family, we decided it would be healthy for me if I homeschooled for a year during 6th grade. And while it was fun, it definitely didn't have the result that we wanted it to. I went back to Linfield in 7th grade with a weight loss issue due to depression, extreme antisocial inclinations, and diagnosed with obsessive-compulsive disorder. And it was definitely hard for me, but what I think I regret most about that time wasn't the emotional stress I caused myself, but my family. They loved me with such a deep love that it pained them to watch me mentally fall apart. But they didn't give up. After a lot of work, they convinced me to see a therapist, and they put me into situations that admittedly were uncomfortable to me. I thought they were trying to torture me, but they were doing just the opposite. They were healing me. And although it was a hard road traveled, after around 2 years, I was considered both physically and mentally healthy again. Having gone through that, I learned 2 things. First, I learned how to approach life in a new way. Every time an opportunity presented itself for me to step outside of my comfort zone and grow, I took it. Theater was one of those, and it ended up being like one of the greatest decisions I ever made. So that mentality of stretching yourself and saying yes much more than saying no is what formed me into who I am today. But the second thing I learned is much, much more important. I learned what love really looks like. In my mind, this honor today isn't in any means a celebration of me or how great I am. It's a celebration of the people who cared about me and who encouraged me and guided me to be the best version of myself. It's a celebration of the people who sacrificially made my problems theirs. These 3 amazing women up here are prime examples of those kind of people. These people deeply understand what it means to love. It means to sacrifice. I am indescribably grateful to everyone who sacrificed themselves for my sake, so one day I could ultimately stand here and thank them properly. So, thank you, and thank you all. God bless you.
Right. You know, I thought about this. I thought, okay, I'm going to be talking after Charlie. This is an interesting choice. Because as he knows, as she knows, I cry. For every reason. It doesn't matter what it is. I could be happy, sad, mad, it doesn't matter. So, yeah, dramatization, I know. So I'm standing up here and just honestly just looking at Charlie, I was starting to cry. The other day I was talking to the kids in the class, we all gathered in a circle before a rehearsal, and I'm looking at him, and I'm excited because one of them got into college, and we were very excited. Thank you. We were all very excited about it, and I said, okay, good opportunity. Let's share about our colleges we got into. I said, so guys, let's talk about the college. Just go. You know, it's so hard for me because we are a family. I've taught them now for 4 years. For 4 years. So, and we do become a family because I teach them year after year after year. So it's very hard to watch them when they graduate. Darn you.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, so.
Pull it together.
Pull it together, woman. So, as Mr. Ritter said, this is so much more than about academics and the talent. It is about who people are. And
Charlie is an exceptional person. And yesterday, Charlie came into my office. Yep, I'm gonna share. He's my intern, but I don't actually have a class during that time, so we do a lot of projects and things like that. Sometimes we end up just sitting down and talking, which is wonderful. And I could tell something was off, and I asked him, I just said, you're off, what's wrong? And we finally got to it. And he didn't understand why he deserved this. He didn't understand why he was chosen over, he's like he said, he could name 20 people that deserved it. Why did we pick him? And I said, because you're exceptional. And he just stared at me. He couldn't possibly understand why he's exceptional or extraordinary in any way. And I told him, it's not about your talent, it's not about it is about those things, but it isn't just about that. It's how you've chosen to use those things. You don't choose to use them for yourself in any way. You choose to use those things to go out and teach other people. You choose to use those things to go out and help others, mentor others. You see other people on campus and you think, how can I be of service to others? And in every way, he is exceptional. And that makes him outstanding, exceptional, extraordinary. And I just think, what an amazing human. I want to be him when I grow up. He's amazing. So I'm honored to teach him. And it's, there's nobody else like him. So, a funny thing yesterday, and this happens often, he just disappears. Like, not during class or anything weird like that. Not during class. But he, right after, I had him in class, and then right after class, all his friends stay, because it's lunch. And usually after class, they all stay and they hang out with me and we eat lunch. He just disappears, and we're like, where's Charlie? And I saw him, I caught him, I went, where are you going? I'll be back. And he did come back, but it was an hour later for the next class. I said, where'd you go? He said, I had to go talk to one of the other kids. He said, they really needed me. He could have stayed and hung out with all his friends. We have a great time, but he chooses to spend his lunch helping someone else. It's just an example of who he is. So, he will absolutely be missed and loved no matter where you are in the world.
Well, gosh, how do I follow all of that? Pull it together, Mom. I didn't know that Charlie was going to share that story, and yeah, it was a tough time. He does that sometimes. He doesn't share, and I think that's just his humility, what he's doing. When he was in kindergarten, he was chosen to do the prayer at the graduation. Pretty big deal when there's all the grandparents. Did he tell us? No. All of a sudden, my son, 5-year-old, walks up and just does this beautiful, profound prayer that sounded like somebody who was 40. He's an old soul, but that's just who he is. It's hard, I think, for all of us as parents to come up and say in just a few words how wonderful our kids are. I think especially hard for moms. So I will tell you what I just find so great about Charlie. He is all those things that Jenny and Holly shared. He is compassionate and kind, and it's very, very genuine. He's so well liked by his peers, by friends, by family, by people in our church of all ages. We were in a Bible study group, and he was grouped with all these senior citizens, and he said, I love this group. The wisdom in that group is phenomenal. And they come to me and say, we feel like idiots with your son in our group. Because he does have just a wonderful, abiding, deep love for God. And he, when she said something about him always reading his Bible, it's the same thing at home. His nose is always there. He's just always has this deep love for God and for people. And I think what I love most about my son, a lot of things, but most that stands out to me is just his real love and joy for life. It's really a lesson for my husband and I, who his dad, David, really wanted to be here. He's traveling. And he's really taught me. He's taught me how to see beauty and joy in people. just this beautiful world that God has made, and how he just it's so hard for him to see the injustices of the world. And I think he really, really wants to make a difference. And I think that's just how God has wired him, to really, really want to make a difference. And I don't think it's a conscious thing he gets up every day and thinks. I think that's just really how he's made. And he just has this beautiful love of joy. And one of the best things, I think, and I know they'll agree with me about Charlie, is his humor. He has the best, and it's not about telling jokes, it's just who he is. He has this joy and love of life, and he keeps us laughing all the time. He just brings joy. It just exudes from him. It's just who he is. And, when he came home and told me, the funny way Principal Wilson told him he was student of the month. He thought he was in trouble. And he, in his normal humility, just was so surprised. And as a mom, I wasn't. And I remember thinking, wow, it's just going to be really great, just amazing and great to watch his life unfold. What is God going to do with him? What is God going to, what's the path that he's going to take? What's going to happen? How is his life going to unfold, and how will God use him? And then later that night, I was laying down in bed thinking about it, and I thought, I'm already seeing it. It's already happening. His life is unfolding. He is being used by God to reach other people and to help make this world a better place. And we just couldn't be prouder. And I'm speaking for Daddy and I, of him. We're so proud and blessed to be his parents. So thank you.
At this time, we'll have Mr. Craig Swanson, the principal from Rancho Christian High School.
All right, we're going to fit everybody in. Well, thank you, everyone. And if I bark at you today, I'm not angry at you. I'm just a little under the weather. I guess it's going around. But I wanted to start out by saying just, I love you, Kyle. And Charlie, I love you too. Yes, I mean, I am blessed to hear your stories. And going to Concordia, I'm a lifelong Lutheran, very involved. I've been with the Concordia University system. So I'm glad to hear you're going there. So that's great. But really blessed to hear about all the stories here. And again, each month or every other month when we come, it's just an unbelievable program. So thank you, Alan, for leading today. And thank you, Mr. Rickner, for sharing your words and everybody. It's just awesome. And now I get to speak about Jake. I've known Jake for a year and a half, only because I've been here for a year and a half. But he's actually one of the first students that I met at school. And like other students, he's involved in a lot of things, athletics and robotics, taking every class you can take at the school, as well as outside of the school, online classes. I mean, he's just maxes out in whatever he does. But what impresses me most about Jake is that is his character. He always wants to do the right thing, okay? Always wants to do the right thing, and stands up for his convictions, even if it may separate him, from other friends or students. He's going to do the right thing, and that is due to his parents and grandparents, and we're just blessed to have him at our school. And this has been a long line of Davies who have been at our school, and he's the last one, I think. He'll be greatly missed. But we love Jake at Rancho. So, Jake Davies.
Good morning. My name is Jake Davies. I have the pleasure of attending today with my parents, Annie and Shawnee, my sister Lindsay, and my guest teacher today, Mr. Kemis. I'd like to begin by thanking the sponsors for your generosity and your impact you're having on these students and the rest of our community. I've been blessed to have been raised in a Christian home and attend Christian schools my entire life. My two older sisters continue to demonstrate high achievement academically, and my parents have been great supporters of us three kids. Like my fellow students here today, I've enjoyed much success in high school, but if I leave an impression, I hope it'll be for my authenticity, my hard work, and my investment in others. Christ Jesus is our model of servant leadership, and I hope to follow his lead, whether in the classroom, the lab, or on the athletic field. I've experienced that a key to success is building relationships while working towards excellence. And I want to be that guy, the one who's working hard and always giving his best for everyone else. So whether as a captain playing on the defensive line of the football team, a build team leader for robotics, a track and field captain, or developing international missions through Rancho's New Go Beyond initiative, I've learned that it's about the team's success. When teammates are genuine, focused on high-level execution, and humble enough to pursue team success over their own personal glory, great things can happen, like winning a state football championship or building an autonomous robot. I've seen the tremendous impact of mentors who practice humility in the pursuit of excellence, and I owe much of my success to their unwavering examples. If I can see a little further into my future success, it's because I can stand on their shoulders. I hope to do the same for others coming behind me. Now, I've always been interested in space and the unknown. I love the old Star Trek show where the mission is to explore strange new worlds. I relish the opportunity to one day be on a spacecraft like that, hopefully in my lifetime. Through my robotics experience, I've discovered a passion for discovery, and I plan to pursue a degree in aerospace engineering, either from the U.S. Air Force Academy, USC, or Embry-Riddle University. I hope one day to have the opportunity to be on a team designing and creating those spacecraft. I can imagine the thrill of having the chance to take some of you with me on a trip to the moon in a spacecraft I helped design. I see great opportunities to serve others as we advance our discovery of the cosmos. Thank you for letting me speak today.
Hi, I moved to Temecula in 1987. My name is Jimmy Chemis. I graduated from Linfield in 1993. That was the year they founded the Student of the Month. My little sister was a Student of the Month, and I've been to about 10 of these. I just want to say, Kyle, very impressed with you, young man. Your faith just sort of shines through. That smile means a lot, man. Like, you just brought a lot of joy into the room. I wanted to say thank you. Charlie, I wish you would have been at Linfield when I was there, man. I was that guy starting, taking my Bible and realizing who God was when I was in high school. Pursue theology, but continue to love people. I just really appreciate your energy and who you are. Jake, I've known for 4 years. I'm a football coach. Jake came out as a freshman, and it was the second year we had varsity football. We don't have 820 seniors. That would be fantastic. We have about 60, and we have about 35 boys that came out for football last year. And Jake was a 4-year player. His freshman year, he came out, and after about 10 minutes, his position coach on the offensive line and defensive line. Jake's about 180 pounds and played both ways on the line for us. In a lot of ways, he symbolized everything we wanted to be as an athletic program and as men, that we wanted to maximize the gifts God had given us. We wanted to take on the greatest challenges. And so Jake's junior year, he was an all-league player. He just said he was a starter. He was an all-CIF player on the defensive line and a captain of the Division 6A state championships and team. And we played large schools like Santa Ana in the finals and South El Monte and Godinez High School. And Jake was taking on guys who were 300 pounds. And I'm gonna nerd out on football. We are not able to take on guys like that, and so we use a technique on the defense called wrong shouldering. We ask guys like Jake to take on very large guys, but to do it in a very specific way. And Jake was the best we've ever seen. It requires sacrificing your body for your teammates. It's a very tangible, visible picture of love. And so Christ did not metaphorically love us. He shed his blood for us, and I love watching Jake over the last 4 years love his teammates and love his classmates in really tangible ways. So I love Jake. He's a very good friend and a loyal friend. I know that from experience, so I'm going to miss him a lot. And I love you, Jake.
Well, I got to say, Jake, we are super proud of you and your efforts. Jake is a very accomplished young man, just like you kids are, and I love coming here every month and listening to your stories and hearing how you've come through stuff and where you're headed, because it does give us hope, right? And that's one of the things that I've appreciated so much about Jake. I know Shawnee and I have. I could spend 20 minutes up here easily talking about Jake, but trying to distill this down, unselfishly giving his best is really about who Jake is. He runs silent. He's a man of few words. He said more this morning than he does in a typical day. But he runs deep. And one of the things that Jake has demonstrated over the years is a willingness to commit to the right things, even when it's really, really difficult, whether that's physical or it's academic, or whether it's a decision to go a different direction than others of his age or mentors of his don't think is the right direction, but he considers it, he prays about it, he gets advice, he makes a decision, and he doesn't look back. That kind of unwavering commitment to the right kinds of things is what changes the world, here in little ways, but also here in big ways. We could not be prouder, Jake, and we're very excited about your future. We're very excited about who you are. Proud to call you my son, and I'm proud of the young man you become.
All right, so I would like now to welcome up from Temecula Preparatory School, Mr. Michael Agostini and his students.
So I'm very honored and excited to be here today and present and talk about Nicholas Wright. He's a tremendous student at our school, an extremely hard worker, somebody who really excels in his classes, taking multiple AP classes during his time at our high school, and is just doing extremely well. He's planning to go on to college, go to medical school, become a doctor someday. He's applied to Stanford and UCLA and a number of great schools, and wherever he decides to go, I know he's going to do extremely well. Nicholas is an avid reader, and he loves to read. And many of us like to read, and I'll say I love to read too, but when I say he loves to read, he really loves to read. So I guess he's actually read over 150 novels while he's been in high school outside of our school curriculum. And when I asked him, like, what kind of books do you like to read? And he said, everything. And I was talking to his mom the other day, and I was asking her, oh, so what does Nicholas like to read? And she said, everything. He reads everything. And so it's no wonder why he's such a knowledgeable young man and such a smart person. On our campus, I like to think of Nicholas as Superman, and not the kind of the flashy guy with the big S on his chest and the big red cape, but the mild-mannered reporter type. He's very similar to Superman in a number of ways. He always does the right thing. He's really well respected by his peers. And is just a really genuine, authentic, nice person. Now, Nicholas has done a lot of things at our school to help other students and in our community, but actually I'm not going to go into that. I actually want to talk about something that I think he doesn't realize I know about. So it appears that Nicholas and his brother really have an affinity for this show, Frasier. And they're going about like memorizing the dialogue from all the shows. And not only that, he has been working, he has this competition with his younger brother who also goes to our school. And they've been having a competition to see who can integrate more lines from the show into their classwork and into their papers. And, I don't know how I feel about that. Being a fan of the show myself, I will say I don't know what to do with those tossed salads and scrambled eggs. And if you don't know the theme song, you won't understand that, but Nicholas will get it. Anyway, Nicholas is a mild-mannered guy, and it would be easy, I think, to think of him as always a serious, studious student. But he's clearly a really well-rounded guy with a great sense of humor and a super person, a Superman, if you will. And I'm so very honored to present this award with him today. So here's Nicholas.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nicholas Wright, and I'm a senior at Temecula Preparatory School. I would like to take a moment to introduce the head of my school, Dr. Agostini. my favorite teacher, Mr. Areola, and my college counselor, Mrs. Lebkaw, as well as my mother, Kelly Wright. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank all of the sponsors for supporting me today and for your support of the Student of the Month program. I'm very honored to receive the Student of the Month award, and I appreciate this recognition. After I graduate from high school, I'm planning to study biology in college. Hopefully, I will get accepted into Stanford University, and my goal after that is to go to medical school and become a doctor so that I can help people. And I plan on giving back to my community by helping to alleviate the shortage of doctors in the Riverside County area. Thank you.
Hold on 1 second while I pull up my notes on Nick. I wanted to start off just by recognizing, I know you'll probably finish this up, Alan, with the theme of today, but as we look around and we see each of these young men, the humility that they express, their desire to live like Christ and to sacrifice themselves for their community, their family, and their friends is really something that's honorable, something beautiful, something that while I sat there and I listened to all of the stories, I took it upon myself to kind of pull up in my head Philippians 2, which is 2:3, which is about doing nothing out of rivalry or conceit, but looking at others is more important than yourself and sacrificing for them. And I think that that's something that each of these young men shares in common, and I know every teacher that's been up here has expressed that about them, and that we all feel incredibly blessed and honored to have been their teachers, to have had a piece of our world touched by these awesome individuals. So it's been my pleasure to serve as Nick's English instructor for English 10 and AP 11, Language and Composition. And honestly, the other day when I was asked to come and represent as Nick's teacher, it was the first time I heard about being his favorite teacher. So, because as you notice, Nick is a man of few words. But knowing how much he loves literature, it's not surprising to be asked to be here. But I'm super humbled to be here. And Nick is one of those students when I had him freshman year, I was like, this kid is brilliant, it's wonderful, he's a great writer, he's gonna go places. And then when I got him junior year, I was like, I think maybe he should be up here teaching the class. I'm pretty sure he's quite a bit more intelligent than I am and has an even greater grasp of the subject matter than I do. But I'm humbled anytime I run across students like that at our school, and Nick is certainly one of those students. Although Nick isn't an extremely talkative young man, he is an incredible listener. That's apparent at the level at which he's able to retain information that he's heard. And although Nick doesn't speak a great deal in class, when he does speak, people sit up and listen because it means he's going to say something that's worth hearing. Also, Nick has an amazing wit and sense of humor, so although he doesn't speak a lot, when he does say something, especially something slightly snarky to his friend Fabian, it's brilliant. The humor is so incredibly brilliant that it's just like amazing to witness, and it's just a beautiful thing, which obviously he probably gets from that very intelligent show, Frasier, where the humor is like, I watched it and I was like, oh, everyone's laughing. I'm not sure why that's funny, but it's probably funny. And I'm sure Nick is cracking up. But, and while these are all great characteristics of Nick, they are not the thing that truly sets him apart. Nick is a servant in his church, in his community, and in his school, always volunteering, always working diligently to help his fellow man. This giving doesn't stop with his service. He is also giving in conversation. He listens, offers his wisdom to his classmates, just giving of himself continually, both in intellect, in the resources that he has to continuously pour out into the people around him. He's been given some wonderful gifts that he shares every day with his peers, one of the most temperate young men that you'll ever meet. He's poised and so well composed that I often wish I possessed those capabilities. Never the one pushing his way to the front to be seen or heard, even though he has often far greater things to say than those individuals, and a right to do so. He allows them to speak, and he listens. And that is precisely the reason we are honoring him today, because he is who he is and willingly gives up those moments and humbly surrenders them to watch and listen to the others around him. I know I feel privileged to be his teacher. I feel honored to be here, and to just kind of go off of, Charlie, what your teacher said. You sat in the room and said, I don't know why I deserve this award. There's 20 other people who deserve this award. I'm sure when Nick was recognized, he said the same thing, as well as these other gentlemen, and that's precisely why you're being recognized, because you're the person who doesn't believe or see that in yourself. You humbly serve all those around you. You guys are incredible young men. Nick, so honored to be here with you. Thank you.
Hi, good morning to all of you. Earlier this morning, I heard messages to the students that say, take this award, go get an education, and come back and serve the community. And that's really interesting to me, because as a graduate from Chaparral High School in 2002, I received the Student of the Month award at the old Sizzler with this very group, and now I'm here back in the Temecula Valley, giving back to my community as a counselor. And so it's really an honor to be here today and to recognize Nick. I have a great ability to work with students as they transition from high school to beyond. And that's where I really feel that Nick stands out a lot. You know, we talked about how he's an avid reader. He's probably the only student that I've ever known who knows when the Temecula Public Library is getting a new book that he wants to read so that he can go check it out. He's one of the only students I know who doesn't flash all of his accomplishments to his peers and to his teachers. Many people on campus don't know the work that he's done with the veterans in our community, with the senior citizens in our community, and it just goes to show you that you don't have to be an outspoken person to really make a difference in our community. So congratulations, Nick.
Well, Nick, I wish your dad, he's traveling right now, I wish your dad was here in person to be able to see you. This is so very nice. I'm very happy to be here. I remember when Nick was in first grade and he got the Breakfast of Champions Award at Alamos Elementary School. We were so proud of him. It was so exciting to see the principal say all of the nice things about him. And now we're here for the Student of the Month. And let me just say the breakfast really tops that breakfast that we got at Alamos with the little milk and Danish. This is a nice breakfast. But we're so happy. I'm so happy, and your dad's so happy and proud of you. I've really liked watching Nick over the years with his education. He's put top priority on learning and studying and being the best he could be in that regard. So it's been a pleasure to watch him. And Nick, you are a man of few words, and of course we all know very few words. So here are a few words for you from your dad and I. We love you very much.
Next we have Temecula Valley High School, and Principal Alan Williams will start.
Well, I'm more comfortable in this role. And good morning. And certainly, like all of our administrators here, when we step on our campus, we're all about our campus and our students. One of the wonderful things about Student of the Month is we're all reminded we're all part of the same mission, really supporting and encouraging students and watching their light shine. So that's awesome. Well, I'm here to introduce Annie Hilton, who is Temecula Valley High School Student of the Month. And she's the type of student that you see on campus when they're freshmen, because I've had the pleasure of now seeing our seniors as freshmen, and they just absolutely capture your heart. You know that there is something special about that person, and that is certainly Annie. We do have a program on campus called Best Buddies, and the goal of the program is really to partner typical students with students who need additional support with our special education students. And there's a wide range of special education students, and there are students that are very severe with intellectual disabilities, autism, and the like. And Annie partnered up with this boy, a wonderful boy, but a very big student in stature. And she received a little bit of training about how to work with this student who had autism. I don't think she really needed the training. She just really had a way and a manner about her that she was able to connect with the student that I don't think a lot of people could really communicate or connect with. For a parent of a son with Down syndrome, myself, I was just really impressed and filled with joy. She has it about her. I think she's learned that from her parents, of course, and also she's had some great examples of sisters in her life, too, who've been that way. So just a shining star student. I did have a chance to interview her before this and just learn what she wanted to do, and she said that, well, I never thought of myself as a student who was strong in mathematics, but the more that I've done math, I really love it. And it was neat to hear one of her teachers inspire her and encourage her to take, we've heard this term already today, Calculus D, Calc D at our school. So she's one of those students. But I asked her what she wants to do, and this absolutely melted my heart. She says, my dream job, and I'm going to hold you to this, is to come back and teach mathematics at Temecula Valley High School. Right, Annie? So it's my pleasure to introduce this very sweet student, Annie Hilton. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. As Mr. Williams said, I'm Annie Hilton, and I have the pleasure of being here today with my ASB advisor, Eric Burlingham, who I have had the opportunity to know and work with since freshman year, and also my mom, Michelle Hilton, and she has definitely been one of the greatest influences in my life and taught me and raised me to be everything that I am today. So this is especially a big deal for me to be here because in my ASB class, our main focus is on recognizing students, for recognizing them for character and recognizing them for their academic achievements. And all of you sponsors and the teachers, parents, administrators here, you guys are working together to do that exactly what I work on to do on a daily basis, and that's recognizing students. And I know that as we do recognize students for what makes them special, then it pushes them to go out and continue to be that special light in the world. And I thank you for what you're doing in our community, and I hope that one day I'll have the opportunity to do similar things. I think that one of the greatest lessons that I've had the opportunity of learning is that oftentimes you put in a lot of work for things, and that's something I've learned in ASB, dedicate a lot of time into it. And you put on these big events and you're super excited about it, and then you get not the best responses from the students. They don't appreciate it just as much as you thought they would. And sometimes I used to get a little bit hurt by it. I wanted them to say thank you, just some sort of accolades, but over the years, I've learned that that's not the reason that you do these things, that I know that the reason why is because you see the value of the lives that you're touching, and I know that all these things that I'm working to do in my life, I don't do them to increase the value that other people see in me, but because I truly see so much potential and potential for growth and influence in every individual that I meet. And that does play into why I would love to be a teacher when I'm older, as Mr. Williams said, and especially in Temecula, one of the greatest cities, I think, in the world, probably. But I know that education is one of the greatest tools and one of the most powerful things that we have in this world, and I think that it is one of the greatest gifts that you can give to a person is knowledge, and it puts them in position to be able to be who they want to be and to be able to express themselves. And that is how I hope to give back to our community. And I'm very thankful for this opportunity to be here, and it is such an honor, so thank you.
so interesting staying here, and I had thoughts, the words that I was going to say, and listening to Annie speak, I'm like, everything she's saying is relating, not taking the words out of my mouth, but relating to the things that I believe about her. First off, what Annie was saying about recognition, she's in a class, and our whole job is to do as much as possible to recognize the students on our campus. And just want to throw out to the Student of the Month program that often, at least once a week, we're talking about recognizing students for whatever reason, attendance or good grades or pass an AP test. And I find myself describing the Student of the Month program because it is the ultimate recognition. This is the best. And anything that we can do to make our recognition on our campus like this, that's our goal. That's the key right there. But what I was going to say about Annie is just kind of going back to, number one, she does so many things. I didn't even know she was part of the Best Buddies Club. But she's a tutor, she's in cheer, she's on the track team, thing after thing, ridiculously busy. And I admire those things, and I'm very proud of her for that. But more importantly, it's what she's saying about the education. I see Annie working in teams and working with others and making them better and building them up. The words I would use to describe her are genuine and generous. She sees others and she is genuine with her compliments and generous with her positive images of others. I guess it was 3 years ago now, when Annie was a freshman, I was honored and she nominated me for a Crystal Apple Award. And if you're familiar with those, you get descriptions and nominations, you see what the students have written about you. And Annie said, and this is a while ago, she may not remember this, but what Mr. B has taught me is that even in failure, there's a lot to learn. And she also doesn't know, but I think about that compliment often, and I want to be a better teacher because of Annie and that one sentence that she wrote about and said about me. I mean, not this is about me, but she has that power to make me a better teacher and want to be better, and I see her do it with her students, with fellow teachers, with her friends. She's that light. And I'm proud of her, and I admire her, and I am privileged to get to work with her and know Annie Hilton. Thank you.
Okay. First off, I just want to say we moved to Temecula to raise our family for the community. When we were researching where we wanted to raise our family in Southern California, it was this. This was why we wanted to come here, is because of the support and the people that make up Temecula. So thank you to all the sponsors and all the people that worked so hard to do this. I also just have to thank these two men by us. This is my last Golden Bear. And I just have to say, these two make Temecula Valley High School what it is. And the time I'm on campus helping with different things, they're never not there. And I feel like I'm there a lot, and they're always there. It doesn't matter what time of night I'm there or how early they are there too. And they do so much for our school, so thank you so much. So the thing that I love most about, well, one of the things I admire most about Annie is she always has had, like they talked, she's genuine, that she cares genuinely. And while it's maybe sometimes easy to care, a lot of people just kind of throw up their hands and think they can't do anything. Annie rolls up her sleeves instead, and she goes to work. And she has an incredible work ethic. She will see what needs to be done without anybody telling her. And it shows in her schoolwork, in her things that she does as an ASB president, and at home. I've never checked her grades ever. I don't even know how to log on to whatever that thing is. and I know how lucky I am because of that. because I've never had to ever wonder if she wasn't on top of her stuff, because she just her work ethic is amazing, and she will I'll see her over at the school, and I'll see her in front of the whole student body addressing them, and then I will see her 2 minutes later picking up trash at the stadium, because she sees it all from beginning to end, and she sees that she's part of every single aspect of that, and that she knows that she can make a difference as an individual, and that's what's going to make her a phenomenal educator, which is something she's wanted to do since she was a kindergartner. And her goal has never changed. She's just always wanted to teach because she is amazing at bringing out the potential in people. And I love her, and I'm so proud of her. Thank you.
All right. We will now call up Chaparral High School and Dave Reisinger and his student and family and teacher. Come on up.
All right, thank you once again to all the people and everyone that puts us on, Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce, all the sponsors, all the dignitaries that are here. What another wonderful event. It's so joyful for me to get to film when Mrs. Diaz, our principal, can't make it. She's out of town right now at a conference in Tennessee, but she approached me about filling in for her, and I jumped at the chance. I said, this is always just such a wonderful event. The wonderful stories and just the amazing kids that it rekindles your faith in humanity, that the right work is being done, and that our future is in good hands with the folks that we have in this room. So thank you once again. And I asked Mrs. Diaz, I said, well, tell me about Dana. And she said, well, she's wonderful. And I said, and then I asked Mrs. Barron, I said, well, she's wonderful. And I said, okay, great. And then I sat down and talked with Dana for a few minutes. I thought to myself, she's wonderful. And the kind of going on with the theme today is that servant leadership, humility, inspiring. And Dana just has all those qualities. You can just tell she's got such a positive energy and vibe to her. And you talk to her for just a few minutes and you go, wow, like she's such a powerful force. And she's involved in athletics with our girls lacrosse team and peer leaders and the president of the Middle East Club. But in her role as the ASB president, which is such a strategic and important position on campus, and she just takes herself just so lightly and like, no, yeah, we just kind of do this. And I'm just like, no, I don't think she realizes how important she is to our school and how she's really got her finger on the pulse of our campus. And she puts on these amazing events and works hand in hand with Mrs. Barron, our ASB advisor here, and just the wonderful events and things that she does on campus, and that how she has made such a positive impact and effect on our students on campus every day, and with the events that she puts on, and it really permeates throughout the entire campus. So congratulations to our Student of the Month, Dana Tomalay.
Hello, my name is Dana. I'm here today representing Chaparral High School with my parents, Ali and Intisar Tomalay, my ASB director, Mrs. Barron, and our vice principal, Mr. Reisinger. So before I begin, I would like to say a quick thank you to all the sponsors and everyone who helped put this event together. Not only are events like these important for the morale of students, but also the morale of an entire community. So for that, we thank you. So today I'm going to be answering the question of what lesson I have learned throughout the past 4 years that I will not only take throughout college, but the rest of my life. But to answer this, I have to rewind about 20 years to when my parents first came to this great country, leaving behind their family and close friends from Jordan to give their future children better opportunities in life. They understood that coming to an entirely new world filled with a clashing culture made them certain targets for certain injustices, but they decided to stand up and live their life based off of 3 sayings. Stand tall, speak loud, be heard. These sayings eventually not only became apparent in their actions, but it reflected off of the people we encountered, growing a community of bold leaders around us. As I grew up, this attitude eventually began to shape me, as well as a personality that would forever stick. Once I entered high school, I wanted to take my definition of leadership and extend it to the next level, inspiring me to apply for my high school's ASB program. The day I stepped into that classroom, my life at school was incorporated with individuals who exhibited a strong passion and drive through every responsibility. The principal idea to constantly place themselves into leadership roles did not come from the want to dictate and serve themselves, yet rather the elating idea of being able to play a positive role in other people's lives. Nevertheless, it was a hardworking admin, and specifically my ASB director, Mrs. Barron, that truly exemplified the true meaning of leadership. Through their strong dedication and respect that they had for all students, they showed me that leadership is not based on a name or a classification. It is about the people you influence, the people you impact, and the people you inspire. By putting 100% effort into everything that you do, will spread a passion that will be picked up by members of your community, resulting into a society of determined individuals around you. With that said, if I were to narrow everything my community from school and from home has taught me about being a leader into just one lesson, it would be that we rise by lifting others. Everyone has a goal in life, no matter whether you're a student, a teacher, an administrator, whatever you are. If you manage to build and encourage a drive in the people around you, your goals will be that much easier to reach. I do plan on implementing this lesson next year, as I plan on studying information engineering at either Pomona College or the University of Washington. Again, I would like to say thank you for this recognition. I'm incredibly humbled to be accepting this amongst my amazing peers. Thank you so much.
So for the past 3 years, I've had the pleasure of having Dana in my leadership classes. Actually, for 2 years now. 1 year was with someone else. And my first year as an advisor in ASB, I finally got my leadership classes. I was working with another director. And Dana comes into this program, and she lights up the room. And we talk about some of those leaders, those kids that affect us, and I know even Mr. Burlingham even mentioned that about his student. You have this positivity that comes into the room, and it makes you excited about being a teacher. It makes you excited about the events that are coming up, that are underway. And you're being cute to come closer to me.
Sorry.
And Dana has done that. She has been someone that I have relied on to get the job done. There's no task that I wouldn't be afraid to trust that Dana would be able to get that taken care of. And that is a great thing to have. And yes, we have a lot of leaders in our class. There's the really loud leaders, and there's the very silent leaders. And I think Dana has fallen in that really in-between stage where she has both areas that she can contribute. This past year, I became activities director and got to go through the fun election process and all that goes on with that. And Dana, along with her team, she called it, that they were all running together because they wanted to make an amazing difference on our campus. That all four of them, with ASB president, vice president, senior class president, senior vice president, that they were going to join forces together and do everything they can to build up culture on our campus, to exemplify Puma pride. I'm not supposed to have favorites in elections, but this whole time, and we're thankfully doing electronic elections, I'm just like, please, please, please be Dana. And thankfully, I got my wish, because this is a team, and I got the whole package with the team that she ran with, that I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going into my first year as director, and I am so excited because it's people I trust that they are going to get it done, and they have the respect of their peers. And that is huge, that the people look to her for answers, and they trust that she's going to listen to them and get the job done. I don't know how many of you out there have done color leadership to find out what your color is, what you represent, and we bring this up all the time whenever we're collaborating. We just did the other day when we were putting students in committees and thinking about what kids have to offer and analyzing, oh, this person, their strengths are here, here, and here. With color leadership, I'm a gold. I am wanting to be very organized, meticulous. I like structure. We have one of her other team leaders that's a green. Okay, they're really thinking about some different scientific, logical pieces that go into this. We have the orange that they're just like, yeah, let's do it, let's go, we're excited, and it's gonna happen. There's a plan, okay, great, we'll do it, whatever. Then we have our blue. We have our blue that thinks about the emotional side, how it's going to affect others. Let's step back and think for a moment before we move on. And Dana brings that. She is the blue in our group. And we have in all of our collaboration, we have all those colors. And which is amazing because we think of every area that we are going to affect on campus. And she makes everyone step back and say, wait a second, let's think about this first. And when we were going into the school year, I had to tell her about this. You are a blue, so don't get too passive. You gotta thicken up your skin sometimes. You're gonna have to roll up your sleeves and get in there and do some dirty work, and it's not gonna be the blue personality because there's gonna possibly be some feelings that you're gonna hurt. I don't think she's hurt any feelings at all. Her compassion that she ends up having for the role that she serves on campus, that she thinks her way through it so much and thinks about others that she doesn't have to get to the point of, I think this is gonna hurt this individual. And with leadership, that is so tough. And I am so proud that this journey that I've seen her take since her sophomore year to her senior year, that I've gotten to be part of it. She is the person that when I am having a rough day and I come into class, she makes me so excited to be in there teaching leadership because she has a smile on her face. I could have the worst day going in with whatever emails I just had to answer or voicemails I had to listen to, because everyone loves to complain first before they say thank you, before they say some positive things I get to learn about as an ASB director. But I can come in and she's like, all right, I'm ready, we got this, where are we gonna go next? And the day's better. So Dana, thank you so much for being amazing, bringing so much to Chaparral. You are very deserving of this. And I brought a picture of her spirit section. She's always in the front row of our football games and spirit section. She loves Chaparral. Yes, I'm being embarrassing here. I'm being the mom kind of thing here.
Hello guys, I'm Dana's mom here. First of all, I want to thank you all for your support and encouragement and for putting together this great event to acknowledge and celebrate our future leaders here. These are the moments our kids remember the most. I want to thank you all for allowing us to be part of this very special day. For my beautiful Dana here, congratulations. And what a remarkable achievement you did. You have become such a lovely young lady. You made us so proud. Your determination to succeed is nothing short of amazing. We'll continue to soar and grow. Rest assured, we will be there for you every step of your life. Thank you very much, guys, and love you, Mom.
Yes, I am the dad. I just pay the bills.
All right, Alan, you gonna come up and, actually, Superintendent Ritter, excuse me, come on up.
It's all right, no, good job. Hello again. It's amazing to sit through, now that doesn't sound right. It's amazing to have this experience once a month and have, I believe I speak for everybody in this room, have our lives enriched by this event. And sometimes we don't truly appreciate the role that others play until we try to walk in their shoes. And where I'm going right now is every month I sit here, I've been here for 17 years, and at the end of this event, Sally Myers gets up here and she summarizes the event, what happened, what we just experienced, in such an effortless way, so articulately. And I've been tasked with that, and I'm gonna fail miserably at this because I get all caught up in the moment, and I'm listening, and I'm trying to keep my composure and just hear what's being said by everybody. And I tried to take my notes on this little piece of paper, and that was ridiculous. So if I seemed disjointed, I apologize. But I will do the best, Sally, I can, okay? And understand that I will fail, because I will not do it as well as she does. But what I heard today, again, like I said, is enriching. It's inspiring. It's so powerful to know that we have such amazing young leaders in our community that are going to go on and do great things in a bigger marketplace. And it always excites me when I hear that individuals want to come back and contribute to our community, and that speaks a lot to our community. And I can only guess that if I were Mayor Edwards sitting in this room today, I'd walk away feeling pretty good, because there was tremendous endorsement from the youth in the room about our community and about the influence it has played. But what I heard collectively, and then I'm gonna address each one of the students individually, was the fact that these students are humble in their leadership. It isn't about them. It's about how they lift up those around them. And I heard that repeatedly in the stories, in the testimonials today. But I'm gonna go out of order because Mr. Williams missed Linfield. So I'm gonna start with Linfield and make sure we don't do that again. I was actually gonna go the other way for humor. I was gonna forget you and bring it back, but I thought that's cruel, not twice in a day. And students, I look at this and it says Charles Russell, but I heard everybody refer to you as Charlie. So please forgive me if I'm being too familiar, but Charlie, if you please stand up. Okay. And I want to share with you some of the things that I heard today about you that I think are incredibly powerful. And I hope you heard it, but if you didn't, you're going to get another shot at it. One of the things that I thought, you were described as kind, considerate, passionate, caring, thoughtful. You're a Renaissance man, and I hate the fact you use that because I realize that I don't know how to spell Renaissance, as I did that. And I also want to thank you that you referred to me as a stranger, not a strange man, when you were saying how they listen to voices that they're not familiar with. But some of the one term that really stood out to me was that you're beloved. That is such a powerful term. And it speaks to your fingerprints, what you are doing on your campus each and every day to reach a status where you are beloved. That's powerful. And I also want to speak just for a second in terms of what I heard you reference. You didn't use this term, but it's how it struck me, a metamorphosis in your life, where you came to a point where you hit a place of new enlightenment. And you talked about how you want to seize every opportunity. And it reminds me, and I'm not a person who uses quotes a lot, but it reminds me of something that was shared with me, and that's a definition of luck. And I think in society, we think of luck as this random act of just benefit that comes to people in a happenstance way. But the definition that I really like is that luck is when opportunity meets preparation. And what I heard you say and what you defined is that you're a lucky man, that you understand how important those opportunities are, and you want to position yourself where you can take advantage of them when they present themselves. So congratulations and thank you for being Charlie. Kyle, if you would stand up, please. Kyle, I heard people refer to you as a servant leader, that there's no job too small. Again, that you lift up others, that you have this great integrity. But what you brought forward and what you demonstrated in a most infectious way is that a smile and a hug, as you said, can go a long way. I think you brightened everybody's day with your smile and with your hug, but more than that, with that metaphorical hug, that is. But what it is there was a substance to you. There was a realization that you are somebody that's going to go out there and make a difference. And I just want to say congratulations and thank you for being here. Jacob, I think what stood out to me was, again, you're a person that's incredibly involved. You're doing amazing things. I saw you as you began to speak as somebody with great vision, that I believe that you're a visionary. And visionary and vision, I think, are two different things. We all have visions. We all have dreams. We see things. But a visionary is somebody who can bring it to fruition, somebody who makes it happen, not just think about it or dream about it. You're unselfish. And I love this, that you always do the right thing and stand up for your convictions. And that's not an easy place, especially for a young man. But I do want to congratulate you and tell you that I respect and appreciate that quality that you bring to your community each and every day. And please continue to be that person. Congratulations. Nicholas. A man of few words, and that was demonstrated. But you're genuine, you're authentic, you're respected. You seek to go to Stanford, which I will say, or UCLA or other schools, but Stanford, that's a challenging school for at least the students in our school district to get into, and I wish you the best. But I thought, I tried to wrap my head around the Fraser thing, and that was difficult for me to think that a 17, 18-year-old appreciates that genre. And I just wanted to share with you that personally, in terms of Kelsey Grammer's greatness, I'd take you to Cheers. Not that I want to endorse a bar life, but I think that's really where he shines. So if you haven't checked that out, you may want to. But thank you for all that you do for your community, and hope that you continue to contribute like you do currently. Congratulations. Annie. I think one of the things that stood out to me, the real thing that stood out, and this is really simple, you want to be a teacher. You want to touch lives in, probably, in my opinion, in the most significant way we can, next to being a parent. And parents are teachers too. But I'm kind of at the twilight of my career. And I started off teaching for 17 years, and then I've gone other directions. And when I look back upon my career, and we become reminiscent with age, you start reflecting a lot more. But the most significant years, the years that have made the biggest difference in my life, and the years that I look back on with such passion and pleasure, are those years where I was teaching. Those years where I was touching the lives of students in that way that a teacher does. Not just through providing knowledge and growth in a subject area, but being a role model, being a person who is important and significant in the life of a child and influencing them in such a positive way. And I am so happy to hear that that is the pathway that you are choosing to go in. And I will tell you that it will be an incredibly rewarding journey for you. So thank you for your desire to significantly impact the lives of our young folks. So congratulations. And Dana. You said that a positive role is lifting the lives of others. You said, we rise by lifting others. And that to me was one of the most profound statements of the day. And it's characterized in every individual that's being recognized here. But you put it to words in a way where I will hold on to that. And I know that you are making a significant impact through your leadership, through what you are doing each and every day to impact lives on your campus in such a positive way. And so for that, I want to thank you, and please continue to be the leader that you are today as you move on through life. Congratulations. There were a couple people that kind of danced around a quote that I truly love. And it is simply this: if I have seen farther than other men, it is because I stand on the shoulders of giants. And I heard students referencing that in different ways today, that you recognize that your talents alone, though they're incredibly powerful, are simply not as significant. They don't have the impact that they would have unless we engage others in that work and that we rely and bring people up with us. And so I am, like I said, I am enlightened, I am motivated, I am excited about what I have seen and heard here today. One of the things that Sally does each and every meeting is she shares a minute with Maxwell. And for those of you that know the work of John Maxwell, he's a minister, a pastor, and does inspirational messages. And I thought this one was incredibly appropriate for today because it's called, he speaks to a specific word. And the word he's going to speak to today is the word blessings. And I think it is so appropriate for today and the students that we've had the opportunity to get to know a little bit better. So here's John Maxwell.
Today's word is blessings on Minute with Maxwell. Hi, my name is John. And
can you hear that?
Karen Clements from Anaheim, California, who's in sales, sent this word in to us. Well, you know, Karen, that's a word I use a lot, blessings. Because I think it's a word that pretty much says that I have been blessed. But I've only been blessed not because sometimes I deserve it, but because I'm a person of faith. God is good. So when I look at blessings, I don't look at it as something to pat myself on the back. I look at blessings as something to pat someone else on the back. Because I've had people who come into my life, added value to me, and they were an incredible blessing to me. I think the word blessings means gratitude. I think the word blessings means big picture. You see more than yourself in the picture. You see all of the good things that are happening to you that you didn't work for, that you didn't even understand when they transpired, and you know that you didn't earn. Now I like that. Because when we really count our blessings, we will be grateful. Because most of us have been blessed way, way more than we deserve.
That will conclude our Student of the Month, but I do need to convey one last message. Students, you have a photo op coming up. So before you leave, please, you need to gather outside in the parking lot area. There are chairs set up for you. Any of the dignitaries, site administrators that can stay, please stay to be a part of that photograph. That'll get published in the local newspaper, but it will also be a commemorative keepsake for you in memory of this day. So again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for your contributions to our community, and most importantly, thank you for celebrating these 6 students who are amazing individuals and contributors to our community.